The dumbest thing I've done is buy my textbooks.
So I think the second or third time I drank was after my first crab feed. And so basically everyone rushed back from crab feed and no one bothered to stop to get food before the party. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna grab a bag of cereal and just eat that and I'll be okay. I'll have food in my stomach. Except that night, me and Ryan lost beer pong pretty badly, and because I was still kind of new to the whole drinking environment thing, I got dizzy and I thought, okay, I need to lie down. And he kept telling me that I can't lie down. But I was like, no, I really need to. And then so I did, and then he kept trying to get me up, but I wouldn't get up. So I got even more dizzier. And then basically the end of the night, I ended up in the bathroom. That was not a good night for me.
I think the dumbest thing I did in college was that I noticed a spider egg sac in my closet, but I procrastinated in getting rid of it, so the eggs hatched, and there are lots of spiders in my closet, and I left it there for like about 2 days and then finally got someone to help me get rid of it.
So the dumbest thing I ever did was not really that dumb, but it's still pretty dumb. I burned water before, and I wanted to boil spaghetti, and I heated the pot with nothing in it, and I was thinking, oh, it would be a lot faster if I just put water from the water boiler and just pour it straight into the really hot pot. And then I poured it, and you know how like when you put like fried stuff, or you want to fry something in hot oil, that's like what it was. Like I poured it in and it just went whoosh, and then it was like a sauna and everything like exploded everywhere, and it was like noises that never happened before, and then it was really hot, and then I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. So then I just poured water in the hot pot, and then I poured it in the boiled water, and then it worked. So I burned water before, woohoo!
I think the dumbest thing I've done in college is probably, there's probably two things. It's one, not spending enough money outside of school, like doing extracurricular things. Kind of a hermit at times. And that's been sort of a problem in Davis, especially this year. When I was in community college, I always go out every chance I could possibly get. And once I got here, it's mostly because it kind of feels like home now. And since I live in my own place, it's kind of like I just wanted to stay there. So definitely going out more often and just seeing different places, going places, experiencing new things. That's been something that I've done, or I haven't done. And the other thing would be worrying too much. I tend to think a lot about the future and what's happened in the past and not really living in the moment. And I have to say, being here in Davis has definitely changed that. I tend to do a lot more things that are just spontaneous. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of different people, joining a dance team. That was kind of random. I wasn't really planning on doing that, but it kind of just happened, and I've met a great number of people along the way. So really not thinking about what's going to happen, the consequences, possibilities is definitely something that I've learned.
The dumbest thing I've done in college is break into the abandoned quarter dorms and stole like 2 expo markers.
So freshman year, my dorm friends and I had this watermelon that was about to go bad. So instead of eating it or throwing it away like any normal person would do, one night we went up to the 3rd floor balcony and tossed it right off. Made a nice splat and fed the tercero peacock for a day or 2.
So the dumbest thing I did, or the dumbest decision I made, was changing my major from NPB to TCS, which is like the film production major. It is the dumbest, but then I think it was the best decision I made. Because I'm enjoying my life much more now, instead of struggling with like a lot of classes. Am I talking loud enough?
The dumbest thing I've done in college was it was junior year. It was after we had a pasta night at our house, and we had a bunch of JASS people come over to eat spaghetti. And me, Trent, Ryan, and Christian ended up talking into the night really late. And then by the time it hit around like 5, maybe like 6, we decided to be like, well, let's go to the Walmart Superstore, why not? And then we did. And then, so we went to Walmart. I don't recall buying anything, but then we went back. And then we ended up going to Hutchinson Field, and we just happened to have a football in the trunk. And then we tossed around a football for a good hour. And that was fun. And then what happened was we ended up seeing Hero biking to work, so that was kind of a surreal moment. That was pretty dumb because I don't really know what we accomplished, but we had to do it. It was important.
Okay, so the dumbest thing I did in college took place in fall quarter of my last year. I purchased a new bike light and it was zip tied to the cardboards, and I didn't know where my scissors were, and my pocket knife was the closest thing next to me at the time, so I decided to use my knife to cut through the zip tie so I could use my bike light. But the thing is, it was a really hard zip tie to cut, and then I ended up cutting through my finger and it just kept bleeding, so I drove myself to the emergency room to get some stitches by myself. And a week later, I was going hiking and I hadn't yet cleaned my knife, which still had my blood on from a week later. So I went to the bathroom, decided to clean off the blood, had a little too much pressure, and then I ended up cutting my other hand and I had to go to the ER again and get stitches. And that was the dumbest thing I ever did in college.
I think the dumbest thing I've done in college was something from sophomore year. Trent and I were trying to bike over to Jim and Jessica's. They live over on the pole line, and that's pretty far for those of you who don't know. It's pretty down there. There's actually a bridge going there too. But for some reason that day, Trent and I didn't want to bike over that bridge. So instead of taking about like 2 minutes to bike up and down the hill, we decided to take a 5-mile detour into Woodland back into Davis because we just didn't want to go up the hill. It ended up taking an hour, and I was really mad after that experience, so at least I can say I've biked into Woodland once.
So I went to SF to see my friends, and then I ended up staying like a lot longer than I expected to, and then Toshi made me like go to Daiso and buy like a bunch of like the nauticals, which are like the little clapper things for Yosakoi.
Yeah.
So I was carrying like just 2 full bags of nauticals, and then on the Amtrak station in Richmond, I missed the last train because I didn't look at the schedule beforehand. So I was stranded in Richmond, which is like one of the most dangerous cities in California, at like 12 p.m. with my phone was dead. So I had no phone, I had no friends in Richmond. The last train just left. The next train was at like 7 in the morning. And there's just homeless people everywhere, and I was just carrying like 2 full bags of nauticals, just standing there like, oh crap, I made a huge mistake. So I ended up just walking around downtown Richmond at midnight for like a good hour or so until I found like a motel. That was really dumb of me, yeah.
So the dumbest thing I did in college. So freshman year and through senior year, I did a lot of dumb shit, whether it's when I'm sober or whether I'm drunk. And I'm really surprised that I haven't died or got arrested from all the dumb shit I did. But just in case this video might go on YouTube or Facebook and my future employer or like my future children might see this, I'm just gonna make it like not too extreme. So I think it was this year, I ran out of shampoo, so I bought it at Rite Aid. It's like watermelon flavored or something, and then put it in my backpack. I biked back and I realized the shampoo was open. So everything in my backpack got soaked with shampoo, including my notebooks, books, pencil. What's worse was my PC was soaked with shampoo too. So I was like, oh fuck. And then I opened it and it started up. I was like, oh, it's cool. But then like half the screen was like purple, but I can still see the bottom. So like for like 3 or 4 days, I would use like just the half part and like try to work it. And for like a week or two, it smelled like shampoo. And then as the days goes on, it slowly went all purple. So I had to buy a new PC. But that's probably like one of the dumbest things I did, putting shampoo or unlocked shampoo in my MacBook.
So to be honest, the most annoying, or let's say the stupidest thing I've ever done has got to be the Trinity. Don't let somebody con you into thinking that the Trinity is like some tradition every Aggie has to go through. I mean, it is tradition, but don't let anybody trick you into doing it. I've done it twice, maybe 3 times already as I've been here. Each time I've died. Don't do it unless you really want to.
So the dumbest thing I have ever done in college is that at the freshman year ski trip, I drank after skiing or snowboarding. I threw up once after 2 shots, and after I threw up, I feel better, so I took another 2 shots and I threw up again. And they called me 2 shots wonder for a while, I guess. That was sad.
At my first college party, I brought homework with me. Because I didn't know it was actual college party. So basically, I feel like the biggest nerd on that party.
Alright, so the dumbest thing I did wasn't like just dumb by itself, but the fact that I did it over again. So in freshman year in the dorms, I went to take a shower and I turned the nozzle to the hot setting. But it turned out there was just cold water coming out, so I've been showering for like maybe 2 or 3 nights in cold water, thinking that there was no warm water in the dorms. And then the same thing happened when I went to take a shower in the first apartment that I got in Davis. And I turned again the nozzle to the hot setting, not realizing that the hot water is on the cold setting, so I felt kind of dumb that I fell for it twice.
Freshman year we played poker, but initially the chips didn't have any value to it, so everyone would play all in. So in order to add a little bit of value, we decided to put something on the line where if we ran out of chips until a certain time, then we would have to strip down to our boxers and run to the DC then back. So I ran out of chips in the last maybe 5 minutes, so I had to run from Alder Hall all the way to Segundo DC then back in just boxer briefs.